I welcome you to this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create your grid lines or your axis in Prota structure. Okay, to create your grid line in Prota structure now, okay, you go to your modeling. As you can see my cursor here, then you will see your grid. Okay, then I will click on this grid. Okay, once I click on the grid, you can see that a dialog box just pop up just now. Okay, then I will left click on this workspace. I will press my control, then I will drag it down. Okay, once I'm okay with the length, I will left click. Can you see? Then as you can see, that automatically this grid line is labeled as grid 1. Okay, but according to the drawing I want to use, which I sent to the platform, my first grid is grid 10 prime. Okay, so I'm going to change this from here to 10. Okay, and I'll click my prime. Okay, then I'll click on update. I'll close. Okay, then since I have this first grid now, I will left click on it and I will hit on offset. Okay, then because I'm going forward this way, you should note that it's going to be positive. If I'm going backward, it's going to be negative. Okay, so I'm going forward now. I want to edit the dimension to insert the dimension I have on my drawing. Okay, I will now click on F2. As you can see, it's already highlighted in order to give me a chance to edit my dimension. Then I will type in the dimension. Because I'm going forward, I'm going to type in the dimension, which is 220 without putting a negative sign. Okay, I will hit on enter. Then I'm going to relabel the grid now to 10 without prime. Then I will hit on properties and I will change this now to 10 prime, or 10 rather, just 10, and I will click on update. Okay, if you look at this now, the first grid is 10 prime and the second one is just 10. Okay, so this is according to what the architect has provided before, because you must not touch the architectural grid. Okay, if you want to have your own structural grid, maybe you felt it's important for you to have some other grid, then you can create your own grid and give it another label. Okay, but similar to the label the architect has given to the drawing. So the next grid I'm going to be having here now is my grid 9. So I will select this grid 10. I will right click and say offset axis. Then I'm going forward again. I will click on F2 on my keyboard. Then I will type 1425. Okay, and I'll hit on enter. So you can follow the drawing I've sent to the platform. Okay, then I will right click on this and I will say properties, and I will change this label here to 9 and I will click on update. As you can see, the grid or axis has changed to 9 and I'll click on close. Okay, then I will right click on this and say offset axis again. Okay, I'm going forward again and this will be F2 and I will click on 1445. Okay, I will hit on enter. Okay, if you want to check the dimension of your grid, if it's actually correct, you right click, you see your measure. Okay, you click on it, then you can select from this mouse and to the point of this second grid, and it's going to bring your dimension for you automatically. Okay, you can do the same thing for this side. Measure from here to here. Oh, this is 1432, and you see which we did a mistake. So you need to be very, very careful. Okay, so what I want to do now, I will delete this grid. Okay, I'll select it, right click and say offset axis again. Okay, and I'll click on F2. I need 1445. Okay, and I'll hit on enter. So if I confirm the dimension again now, you see that we are going to have 1445 there. Okay, then I will select this grid, right click and say properties, and I will change the label to 8 prime according to the architectural drawing. Okay, so I'll change this label here to 8 prime, and I'll hit on update. I'll close this. Okay, from here now I will right click and say offset axis. I'm going forward. Okay, the dimension for that grid is 1048. Okay, then I will type F2. I'll click on F2 and type 1048. Okay, and I'll hit on enter. Then I will change the properties of this grid now to grid 8. Okay, just change it here to grid 8, and I'll click on update. Okay, you can also use your orthogonal axis to generate all the axes at once, though you are still going to enter your value, but you can always decide on which one is preferable for you. Okay, from grid 8 now to grid 7, the dimension on the drawing is 608. I'll hit on F2, then I'll type 608 and I'll hit on enter. You should know that your architectural grid and your structural grid dimension must be the same thing. So this point is very, very important. Once you miss it, you've mixed everything totally. So you need to be very, very careful when you are doing this. So I'll change this label now to 7 and I'll hit on update. Okay, then I'll close this. I will right click again and say offset axis. Okay, and I'll click on F2 and type 2023. Okay, then I'll hit on enter. Okay, and I will change this now to grid 6. Properties, grid 6, update. Okay, then the next grid is my grid 5, which I'll also close this and I'll say offset axis. Okay, and I'll type F2 on my keyboard. I'll click on F2, then I'll say 1425. Okay, 1425. I'll hit on enter. Okay, then I'll change the label again, properties, and I'll change it to 5, and I'll hit on update. Okay, I'll close this. I'll right click again and I'll say offset axis. Then I'll hit on F2 and I'll type from grid 5 to 4 now. I have 2023 again, and I'll hit on enter. Okay, then I will click on properties and change it to 4 from here. Okay, and I'll hit on updates. I'll close this, right click, offset axis. Okay, then I'm going to my grid 3 now. My grid 3 from 4 is 608, F2, 608, and I'll hit on enter. Okay, then I'll change the properties now to grid 3, and I'll click update. I'll close this, offset again. Okay, then now I'm going to grid 2, F2. Then my grid 2 from my grid 3 is 2493. Then I'll type 2493. Okay, I'll hit on enter. Then I'll change the label to grid 2 and I'll click on update. Okay, then I'm going to my grid 1, which is 1425. Okay, let me close this. Offset axis, F2, 1425. 25. Okay, I'll hit on enter. Okay, then I'll change the properties to 1. I'll hit on update. Okay, I'll close this. Then I have, according to the architectural drawing, I have 1 prime and I also have 1 prime. So, which they are both 900 mm. Okay, so I will click on this. I will say offset axis F2 900. I'll hit on enter. Okay, and I also hit on enter again because they are the same dimension. Then I can change this now to 1 prime. And I'll hit on update. Okay, and I will change this one now to 1 prime properties. Okay, 1 prime. Okay, and I will hit on update. Okay, then we see now we have successfully created all our vertical grid as given by the architect. Okay, so if I have created my general arrangements or do my general arrangements probably on my drawing, and I felt it's very important for me to have another grid, maybe a structural grid, maybe I want to have a column there or a beam, then I will now be the one to create that grid. Let's assume I want to have a grid here, then I will offset this grid according to the dimension I want it to be. Then I can now decide to label this one, the one I created, as 7 prime. Okay, that's fine. As you can see, all our vertical grid has been created. So once I'm done creating my vertical axis this way, so I'm going to start creating my horizontal axis as well. Okay, to create my horizontal axis, I can just hit on this particular axis, then I'll right click and say properties. Okay, then if you notice, this vertical axis are labeled as a number according to architectural design, because you have to follow the exact grid as it was in the architectural design. Okay, and make sure that the same place which all those grids were used is also the same place you are going to implement them. If not, there is going to be a big confusion outside. So for me to start creating my horizontal axis now, once I have right click on one and hit on the properties, then I want to change this one now to A. As it is now is A, but the fixed axis according to the architectural design is D and is also in small letter. Okay, so I'll clean this axis under this label here and I'll type D and it's going to be a small letter. Okay, small letter was used in the architectural design. Then is named as DI, or let me say it's labeled as D prime rather. So I'll hit on my prime on my keyboard. Okay, then I will draw another axis this way from here. That is where we have the axis. I'll draw it this way. I'll hit on my control. Okay, then once I'm okay with the length, then I will left click. Okay, then I can now click my escape. Okay, if you zoom closer now, you see that we have D prime. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do now is I will offset this axis according to the dimension. Okay, if you also want to practice this, make sure you use the drawing I sent to you. Okay, so from the architectural drawing now, from D prime to F, I have 700 mm. Then I will right click and I will say offset axis. Then I will take it down. Because I'm coming downward, I will click on my F2 and I will use minus. Because I'm coming downward, you need to type, or you need to click your minus first. Then I will type 700 mm and I will hit enter. Okay, if I click escape now, you see that we have another grid named as D prime prime. Okay, but according to the architectural design, what I have here is letter F and not D prime prime. Okay, or grid F. Okay, so I will right click now to change the properties. I will hit on properties and I will change this to F. Okay, then I will click on update and you see, then what I'm going to do now is I'll close this, because this grid F is still highlighted. Okay, let me click my escape on my keyboard. Can you see it's not highlighted again? But I want to make it highlighted now. I will left click on it, then I will right click and I'll hit on offset axis. Then I'm going downward again. Okay, now I'm going to letter E or grid E as it is in the architectural design. Okay, I will hit F2 first to be able to edit the dimension. Then all you are going to do now is to type minus 1158, the same dimension we have on the architectural design. Okay, I will hit on enter. Can you see that? Then I will click escape. Okay, you have to pay attention to your general arrangement. Is very, very important. And as you can see, the method we are using here is an architectural design given to us and is in PDF. The drawing was given to us as an hard copy or as a PDF. So you can just print out just the ground floor plan and the first floor, or if it's up to second floor or third floor, then you can sketch your general arrangement on it. Okay, just follow the procedure of the general arrangement I sent to you on the platform. So what I'm going to do now is, this letter I have here now is E and not G. I will right click on it and I will hit on properties, and I will also change it here to E. Okay, as you can see, I'm using small letter because small letter was using in the architectural drawing. Okay, then I will click on update. I will close this again because it's still highlighted now. I will right click again, properties, or let me just right click and say offset axis. Okay, F2. Then the next dimension is 443. So minus 443. I'll hit on enter. And I'll change the properties. Okay, I'll change it to D. Okay, I'll click on update. I'll offset again. F2. Then the dimension I have here now is minus 206. Don't get confused. From your architectural drawing, you're not going to see anything like minus. Okay, but because you are using the software and you are going downward, that is why you need to put minus. If not, if you put just ordinary, the dimension is going to offset to the upper part and not the downward side. Okay, then let me change the properties of this one. Okay, I'll change this now to C prime prime. C prime prime. Okay, I'll hit on update. Can you see? Offset F2. So this will be minus 867. Enter. Okay. Can you see that? This is C prime prime. Okay. Now I'll change this one to properties to C prime. C prime. Okay. I'll hit on update. Can you see? Then let me quickly show you something. I told you that from my C prime prime to my C prime is 867, right? Then I want to confirm if I'm right with what I'm doing. Okay, let me start from here. I'll right click and I'll hit on measure. So if I hit on measure now, from D prime to F is 700 mm. Then I will over this cursor on this point and take it to this. Can you see my cursor? I'll take it to this side. As you can see, what I have here is exactly 700 mm. So if you want to also confirm from F to E, right click and click on measure. I'll hit on this. Okay, can you see 1158? Can you see that's correct? Let me check for this side. Measure from here to here. That's 443. That's correct. Okay. Measure. This is 206. That's correct. So from C prime prime to C prime now is, you need to make sure that your grids are correct. If not, it's going to be a very big challenge. As you can see, this is also correct. Okay, from C prime now to C, from C prime to C is 485. Okay, I'll click on it and I'll say offset axis, coming downward, F2 minus 485. I'll hit and enter. Okay, then I'll right click on this again, offset axis, or let me change the properties. I will change it to just C. Okay, I'll click update. Oh, sorry, let's type C, update. Okay, and I can close this, and I will set it again. I'm also going to teach you how to use your orthogonal axis, so you can also use anyone that you know is more preferable for you. From C to B now is 430, F2 minus 430. I'll hit and enter. Okay, I'll change this to B. Okay, I'll change it to B. Update, close, right click, offset axis, F2. Okay, then from C now to B now is let's see, 1013. That is 1013. So I'll minus 1013. I'll hit and enter. Okay, then I can change these properties. I'll change this to A. Okay, I'll write A and I will update it. So from A now to A prime is just 300 mm. Offset F2 minus 300 mm. I'll hit and enter. Okay, then I'll change the properties to A prime. A prime. Okay, and I'll update it. Okay, if you are still doubting, because it's very important, you can cross-check your dimension. So let's cross-check it from, let's cross-check it from CII. Okay, from CII, from CII to CI major, CII to CI. Okay, 87 is correct. From CI to C is 485. CI to C, or C prime to C, 485. Okay. From C to B is 430. C to B can you see it's 430. Let me hit on my escape. Okay, so from B to A major, from B to A, let me show you. From B to A now is 1013. 1013. Okay, from A to A prime, from A to A prime major, A to A prime is just 300 mm. Okay, can you see? This is fine. Now we are successfully done creating our axis. Okay, if I showed you the drawing the architect sent to me, you'll see that what we have here is the same thing. Okay, what we have here is the same thing. Can you see 700? Can you see all the axes? Okay, you have to make sure that your axes are in line with what the architect sent to you. Okay, let's go back to the Prota. This is where I'm going to stop for now. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.